a pot of water. I'm trying to bring up to a boil. Leftover asparagus ends. It's the ends that nobody likes. People break off. But I saved mine so I can make soup out of it. I'm gonna cook it until it's completely pulverized, and then I'm gonna blend it with my little hand blender, and then I guess I'll strain it for any chunky bits. And then over here I have all this garlic. It's a head of garlic. So I saw this recipe, a long time ago, and it was for a garlic soup with heavy cream. And it was like, I think 2 cloves of garlic, but instead of just garlic, I'm gonna add the asparagus just for a little bit of vegetable, something interesting, and see how this turns out. And I'm gonna salt and pepper it too for more flavor. And for more flavor, I'm gonna put some of this chicken bouillon in. It's really salty, so I'm gonna put in a little bit, maybe like 2 tablespoons. I want this to be like really, really watery. For breakfast today, I have a beautiful avocado. It's just soft to the touch. I bought a whole bunch of these. They were on sale for, I think, like 2 for $1, but now this week they're on sale for 3 for $1, so I'm gonna go and get more. I love avocados. And these are beautiful, completely, like, so perfect. I don't like to waste any of them, so any of the creamy avocado part, so I scrape it off, even though it's going to be stuck on the pit when I take it out anyways. A little bit stuck, but it's okay. So what I like to do with my avocados is put them on a plate like this, yum yum, and in the little pit holes I put some salt, a little bit, because salt and fat go together really well. Some pepper, and of course red wine vinegar. I can use any vinegar. My husband actually likes balsamic vinegar, and we have these like fancy balsamic vinegars from like our trips to Napa Valley. They have some interesting like blackberry balsamic vinegars, and some are nifty balsamics. But yep, this is my snack in the morning. Yummy. So what has been going on? I've just been taking it easy. I have my doctor's appointments twice a week. Normally at this stage, women see their doctor once a week, but since I have a few at-risk characteristics, being over 35, having my baby via IVF, they just want to check on the baby twice a week, which means a lot of attention. So I've been trying to walk as much as I can. Do my 30 to 45 minutes a day. And according to my mother, walking helps with delivering baby, which I don't necessarily believe, but you know. But I do think walking is good for my cardiovascular. But my friend said that walking a lot helped with stimulating delivery. So she had her baby her first baby 2 weeks early. And she said it was mainly due to her walking a ton right before. This angle isn't the best. It's okay. I've been doing a lot of thinking about the future. Thinking about where I want to raise my children. I think LA has served me well. However, I don't think it's the best place to raise children. The schools are really bad. Unless you can afford a $3 million home somewhere in a exclusive high-end neighborhood, and then that would guarantee that your kid would go to a good school. But if you're just a regular person who can afford a house less than $1 million, you're not guaranteed such a thing. Sadly. It's like California doesn't value a family work balance. It's made for the young people. Young people who haven't had children yet. That's how I feel about it. I've talked about Texas before. About 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. We took a trip to Houston, and we took a look at an open house in the suburbs of Houston. We checked out different neighborhoods of it. I was on board. I was pretty impressed with what Houston had to offer. So Houston is like a circle with like a center circle and then another circle outside of that. And this was just outside of that. I think it was in Sugarland. And there were good schools, semi-recently built homes, maybe in the last 20 years. Whereas in LA, if you are looking in the price range of like an $800,000 home, you'll get a ranch with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms in a decent neighborhood that you wouldn't be afraid to send your kids to that school. I was exaggerating before about the $3 million. Of course, like if you can afford a $3 million home, you should expect, certain luxuries like across the board 10 schools, like in South Pasadena or San Marino or in Arcadia. But so in Sugarland, they had recently constructed homes, 2 levels, a lot of space, safe community, and they had great schools. And I was pretty on board with the idea of moving to Texas 2 years ago. So that was in 2016. But my husband, he was still infatuated with LA. We weren't pregnant yet. He still wanted to live that LA life and, have the option of all this culture and fun activities. And I have to agree that I love LA's culture. I love what LA has to offer. I mean, I love Earth Cafe. I love the Broad Museum. There are still museums I haven't discovered yet. I think there are still neighborhoods I haven't discovered yet. I'm not completely sure, actually, because I haven't discovered them yet. but there are definitely hikes I haven't done yet that are on my list of things to do. There are a lot of hikes that I still haven't done. But I'm in this mode where being pregnant, I want to have things situated for me, for my child, for where they're going to sleep, how we're going to have, we're going to need more space for the baby. They're going to need their own room. And right now my husband is basically working from the second bedroom. That's his office. So the baby and my husband will be sharing a room, which is not exactly ideal. I'd like the baby to have their own room. So right now the baby has a little corner in my husband's office with all of his baby clothes in boxes and all of the diapers just kind of like stacked up, and like a little bassinet for the baby. So this isn't how I pictured how I wanted to start my family life, like bringing the baby home from the hospital, and then having to, kind of constantly maneuver around my husband's schedule, the guest schedule, like if guests are visiting, how will the guests stay with us with the baby in the guest room, which is also my husband's office. So this isn't how I pictured things. So I've been looking at homes. There are a lot of like websites, right, that let you compare what's out there, and I kind of know the LA market pretty well because I've been looking at it for like the last 3 years since we moved here from Boston, and I've been comparing that with what you can get in Dallas. So I was thinking Dallas would be kind of a cool place. I met a family vlogger at a YouTube workshop, and he, I think, was born and raised in Dallas, like runs his family vlog from Dallas. But I've been just looking in the Dallas area and how there are a lot of good schools like north of Dallas, and the homes seem to be relatively they seem to be well built, like a lot of brick homes, spacious enough for the 2 or 3 children I hope to have in the future total. Enough room for my husband's office. I'll need an office or a craft room. Yeah, that's my dream. A craft room to organize all my ribbons and fabric for my sewing machine, and yeah, that would be really fun. Oh, I wish I had a craft room. Right now my craft room is some colored pencils stuffed into a box above my garage. I don't even have access really to it because you can't, unload all your stuff because you have to also put it back into the box because we don't have space to leave it out. And eventually I want to, craft and create stuff with my children. I think it'd be a fun, activity after school or on the weekend. Whoever's willing to craft with me, because I know not every kid is really into it. I was always into it. I always loved art class, even though I had no idea what I was doing. But it's not about the outcome, it's about the process of making something and enjoying that and being creative with pieces and seeing what you can come up with. Yeah. So I'm pushing more and more towards the idea of moving to Texas. I mean, ever since we visited Houston, it kind of opened my eyes, like, oh, you can get a lot more in Texas than you can in LA, which is obvious. I mean, anyone will be able to tell you that. But now that we're pregnant and we're expecting our first child, it just has become like a priority in my mind. And while the baby is small, I think we'll have time to make that decision, because we have 5 years before they have to start school. And I absolutely don't want to be in LA when they start school. Just the elementary school system where I live, which is a nice area, is just horrendous. I think it's like a 2. If you follow, like, I think it's called collegeboard.com. It's like so sadly so terrible. Like, there's zero funding going to the school, and because there's no funding going to the schools, a lot of families who have the means will send their kids to private school instead. So the richer kids pull their kids out and send them to private school, and whoever's left are the poorer families who go to public school. And unfortunately, that creates like a lot of inequality. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully something will come out. We'll figure out, like, something will come out of this research, this decision making, and we'll figure out like something comfortable and ideal for our family. Or maybe even a quick trip to Texas to check out San Antonio, check out the Woodlands, check out Dallas, because we haven't ever been to those places. We've only been to Austin and Houston. So it would be kind of cool to visit a few of these places and then make a decision and hopefully convince my husband that this would be the best decision for our family. I'll keep you posted.